Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen is again directed by Michael Bay, and it stars all the same returning cast members with the inclusion of Isabel Lucas and Raymond Rodriguez as Leo Spitz. Now this movie came out in 2009, so I am going to be talking spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, watch at your own risk. While packing to go off to college, Sam Witwicky discovers a shard of the Allspark that he used to kill Megatron in the last Transformers movie. After looking at it, he is infused with all this knowledge from the Allspark, and because later we find out that the knowledge from the cube cannot be destroyed, it can only transform. And now all the Decepticons want Sam Witwicky because he has all this knowledge that they needed from the cube in the last one. So now they have to find him, extract the information from his brain, and there's this sun harvester that this character named the Fallen is trying to activate and destroy Earth. There's a bunch of different things going on, so yeah. After the success of the first Transformers movie, we were all so excited to see a sequel and to see it be like twice as good, twice as awesome, just 2 times everything. 2 times the characters, which we thought we were pretty much getting. You know, when they released a cast list of all the Transformer characters, and they showed us all the Autobot names, all of the Decepticons names, and that was so cool. It was like, yes, they're really doing it. We got new Autobot characters like Sideswipe, Mudflap, Skids, RC, the other 2 motorcycles. I know one of them is named Chromia, I think. Jolt, and I think that was about it for the Autobot characters. But how many of them are actually on the screen for longer than 2 minutes? 2 of them, actually. Skids and Mudflap. They're the stupidest, most annoying characters that they could have ever come up with, other than Wheelie, and he's given a lot of screen time too, which is very unfortunate. While I love the inclusion of new characters, and particularly the Autobot characters, at least most of them, I would have loved to have heard or seen how they got to Earth. You know, obviously we know that they come from Cybertron or some other planet that they were on at the time, but we're only given a small piece of dialogue that says, "The new members of your team, I understand that they came here after you sent a message into space." Well, that's all we get. That's all we get. Also, the new Decepticons don't really do much. You know, everyone was so excited when we got to hear that Soundwave was going to be in the movie. Soundwave was a cool character in the original Transformers TV show. And in this movie, he's reduced to floating around in space, doing nothing. He's a communications officer, pretty much, but he does nothing. When thinking of the title Revenge of the Fallen, I initially thought it was going to be Megatron getting his revenge on Optimus and Sam Witwicky, which he eventually does in the movie. He kills Optimus, and he pretty much tortures Sam Witwicky to get the information from the cube out of him. But they decided to go the route of a character being named the Fallen. Now, I don't know if that's actually from like the Transformers cartoon or whatever, and if it is, let me know. But the fact that they named a character the Fallen and put his name in the title instead of being Megatron, died in the last one, he's going to get revenge in this one. That would have been much more interesting to me than giving us a character or a villain that we really don't care anything about. Okay? The Fallen. What a lame name, and just, he's a lame villain. Now I want to take a minute to just talk about the positives of this movie. The beginning of this movie starts out really strong. We get this whole dialogue or this narration from Optimus saying, you know, the Transformers and the humans have crossed paths way long ago in the past. And it's like, whoa, that's cool. The Transformers have been here for a long time. And that's basically the plot of the new one that's coming out, Transformers The Last Knight, is they're exploring that a little bit more, which I appreciate. Because they kind of left that alone the last 2 movies. But after that whole introduction, we get this great scene of this new task force called Nest, which includes Josh Duhamel and Tyrese Gibson's characters. And they're teamed up with a few of the Autobots, including Ironhide, Optimus, Ratchet. I don't think he shows up in the beginning, but you know, RC and the stupid twins. They're now hunting these Decepticons around the Earth, and they're now in like China or something, and they find this giant construction Decepticon next to an Audi Decepticon. You know, you gotta have the cool cars. But it's a great action scene, minus the stupid little parts with the twins when they are that ice cream truck he splits in half and whatever. That part is very stupid. I hate that part. But the action of that whole scene is really great, and the CGI is incredible. And Optimus is a badass in that scene, you know? At the end of it, he just comes up to the guy and he's like, any last words? And then shoots him in the eye. It's like, that is the Optimus Prime that we need right now. And it's a great introduction to all these characters. And even Sideswipe, he gets an action scene. It's more Transformers centered. And then you get into the Sam Witwicky stuff and all the college stuff. And you get on into all that humor. And those scenes with Sam on the college campus last for far too long. They give us maybe a minute or two of like the Decepticons talking and dealing out all their plans and talking amongst themselves and how their hatchlings are dying and they can't build a new army. Those scenes last for only a minute or two, maybe 3 at most, and then we get like 10 minutes of Sam Witwicky dealing with the annoying character Leo Spitz, which at first I thought I was really going to like his character, and then he just gets more annoying and more annoying as the movie goes on. And it's really unfortunate. The CGI definitely improved over the last movie. We're given more Transformer action. We're given more just Transformer interaction, where they're just there in the scene. You know, they may not be fighting, they're just there, which is great. But they do take steps backwards with a few characters, and especially Bumblebee. At the end of the first one, he gets his voice back. He's actually talking. And in the first movie, Bumblebee is seen as more of like a teenager type of Transformer. He's kind of like hip, a little innocent in a way, but also like able to kick butt if he has to. But in this one, he's turned into more of a dog. You know, when Sam's about to go off to college and he's told, he just starts crying, and it's bad. Why'd they do that? You know, and unfortunately, that worked for a lot of people in the theater. They're like, oh, Bumblebee. Again, the whole human side of the story we could have done mostly without, because this whole college thing is about connecting with the audience. And while it did connect with me because I was going to college, I had just started college at the time that this movie came out. And it is weird to me that these movies have like aligned with what stage of life I've been in. And that's why I have a special place in my heart for these movies. Even this one, unfortunately. Now the human side of this story is the focus. We get all these new conspiracies that are being unfolded. We get the return of Agent Simmons, which, to be honest, I could have done completely without his character. I mean, yes, he is important to this story, but as an actor in this movie, I do not like John Turturro. He was annoying in the first one, he's more annoying in this one, and yes, he does come back in the third one, which I'll talk about next time. But yeah, they did not need 2 of those super annoying characters. Megan Fox is much worse in this movie, and they also give us this new government character who is even more annoying. He's just a jerk. The best part in this movie takes place about halfway through the movie, where it's Optimus versus 3 Decepticons. And if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the How It Should Have Ended for Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. It talks mainly about this scene, and it's so great because it makes no sense as to why Optimus is fighting 3 Decepticons alone when Bumblebee was there to help him in the first place, and then he just kind of disappears to take Megan Fox and Ramon Rodriguez's characters to safety. But anyway, that scene is incredible in the forest, and there is a deleted scene version of it where there's, I think it's only 1, maybe 2 extended scenes that are added onto it, and it makes the fight scene way better. The fight scene was already cool enough, but that extra piece, those pieces that were missing, makes it so amazing. You can find it on YouTube probably. I've watched it a couple times because it's not on the DVD that I've seen the movie on. Eventually Optimus Prime bites the dust And this basically sends Sam and Michaela and Leo on this adventure to discover this strange power that can bring Optimus Prime back to life called the Matrix of Leadership. Which I appreciated the fact that they were bringing in the Matrix of Leadership. That was cool. But the way that they go about it, could have done without it. It was too much like National Treasure, where it's like all these human conspiracies hid the Transformers conspiracies. I have to say, one of the worst parts in this movie is probably the scene with the pretender Decepticon that is disguised as Isabel Lucas in the college that Sam is attending. What drives me nuts about that is not only does it have a plot hole where this character, the girl, is apparently like well known at this college and she's supposed to be the hottest girl at the college, which she definitely is not. Sorry, but she's not at all. I don't think. Anyway, she is after Sam and is like all about Sam, trying to get the information out of him. And instead of just like a regular Decepticon transforming and then being like, all right, I'm going to kill you or I'm going to kidnap you, it's a slow burn. Like, I have to like manipulate him. I gotta seduce him. What? It's a Decepticon. It's not a human. It's not supposed to be like a spy movie. It just, they stretch it out too long, and it's unfortunate. However, it was nice to see them venture away from a big city battle and into like a desert battle. It was probably much easier for them to film it there. But the inclusion of the pyramids was really cool, and it was really cool that they got to actually shoot on the pyramids. And the only problem that I have with it, I spoke about it in my last trailer breakdown for the last night, is the pyramid that the big Constructicon Devastator, which I have to sidetrack really quick, Devastator was amazing. I heard that he blew up a few computers because that character was so difficult to animate and work on that it just melted down several computers. Anyway, that character is climbing up a pyramid and he's trying to destroy this pyramid to uncover what's called a sun harvester to destroy sun so they can get energon. I don't know, it makes no sense to me. But the pyramid that he's climbing up is supposed to be the one that Simmons, John Turtorro character, is climbing up. But when they do the close-ups of John Turturro, you can see the pyramid that he's supposed to be climbing up in the background. And that's a mistake. That's only because they couldn't actually film on that particular pyramid. Which begs the question, why did they decide to do that pyramid as the one that it's hiding, the sun harvester is hiding under? Why didn't they do the other one? Again, the voice acting in this movie is very well done. We definitely get to hear more of Hugo Weaving in this movie. In the first one, I didn't recognize it as Hugo Weaving. In this movie, it was very obvious. And what I didn't like about the voices in this movie is they weren't as modified as they were in the first one. You know, Optimus Prime's voice in the first one sounds very alien and robotic-like. In this one, they didn't really do much to it to make it sound different than a human's voice. It's just Peter Cullen talking, which is still amazing, but it doesn't sound like an alien robot. Overall, guys, this movie is pretty disappointing. It has its high points, it has its low points, more low points than high points, but the action in this movie is incredible. Michael Bay knows how to shoot action, and he knows how to move that camera around, but those explosions, man, they just look like fireworks going off on the ground. The CGI is incredible, the humor is awful, some of the characters are really great, some of them are just, most of them actually, are awful, and I could have done without them. But yeah, I give Transformers Revenge of the Fallen a C-. It was very close to a D, but again, ILM comes to the rescue, making those Transformers so believable, and without the amazing CGI in this movie, if it had just been okay CGI, it would be so much worse. So guys, what did you think of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'm going to be continuing my series on Transformers movies leading up to the release of Transformers The Last Night, with reviewing Dark of the Moon next, then Age of Extinction, then the top 10 things I want to see, or that I think should be in Transformers The Last Night. So be on the lookout for those videos coming out over the next couple weeks. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a big ol' thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of when we upload new content. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.